Hey everyone, Joe Cosentino here, Coffee with Cosentino. Thank you for tuning in. This is our third episode, and today we have Josh Stone from Stone Home Inspections. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Joe.
Great to see you.
Yeah, pleasure, as always.
Awesome. So how's the family? How's things going?
Everybody's good, staying busy, expecting our first big snowstorm of the year.
We're not looking forward to that.
Yeah. So I think we're all going to have a day off tomorrow. Kids will be happy, but yeah, everybody's good and just looking forward to this crazy spring market. And
Well, you're not going to be doing home inspections in the snow, right?
I have.
Oh yeah.
For you, as a matter of fact. But yeah, tomorrow I think we're gonna have the day off. Yeah. So.
All right. Good.
Yeah. How's everything with you?
Everything's good. We're busy. A lot of buyers, a lot of movement, a lot of sellers. Obviously, a lot of home inspections.
Yeah.
We're trying to obviously sometimes speed the process up, but obviously it's a real estate is not a speedy process. So people don't understand. Obviously, things take time. Reports take time. Inspections take time. Contracts take time.
We're the fastest process, though.
Yes.
Because our reports are same day.
That's great.
Just letting you know.
I know. That's why I like to use you. So tell us about your family, your background, where you come from. I know you're not a Bronx guy. But...
No, I'm not a Bronx guy. So, I grew up in Queens, Bayside, which is not far from here.
Stone's throw over the bridge.
Yeah, so I'm a Bayside guy, and, I was kind of stuck in my little bubble of Bayside my whole life growing up. I grew up pretty poor. We didn't even have a car. I took the bus everywhere. I didn't realize there were bridges that took people places, and unless I was going away somewhere, I didn't venture out. So my start happened, really in Queens. Grew up in a one-bedroom apartment with my mom and my sister, real tight, and made some great friends, lifelong friends there. Still have relationships in Queens, and it wasn't until I joined the NYPD back in 2000 that I kind of saw, hey, people live other places. Like I saw. When you go to NYPD, to the academy, who's from Putnam County, who's from Orange, who's from Westchester. These are all places I just would drive through, maybe not. So I moved up to Westchester County in 2003 after someone stole my airbags out of my car. That was a life-changing moment for me when I said, I got to get out of here. I got to find another place to go. So moved up to Westchester, and now I'm in Putnam County. So life is good.
And your family, you have a couple kids.
Yeah, I can't forget them. I have my wife, Lisa. I have
works
3
with
kids. Yeah, my wife, Lisa, who answers the phone like yours, So
Runs the show.
She runs the show and answers the calls and, sends me to all the different jobs.
Knows your calendar.
My crew. She knows where I'm going, when I'm going there. She's gotten so fine-tuned that literally any one of my inspectors, myself included, like, if someone calls and says, hey, where's the inspector? I don't see him. She'll be like, check the roof, because he's been there already for this amount of time. He should be on the roof by now. Right. So, and the client's like, yeah, I found him. He's in the backyard, or he's on the roof, like you said. So then I have 3.
Could be good and bad.
Could be good and bad, yeah. So, and then we have 3 kids. Our oldest is 15, Jacob. Our daughter's 11, and Abigail, and our little guy, Ryder. So we got a busy life between business and... family. It's just
sports,
running all over the place. Yeah, so
I know
all good things.
It's sometimes you wonder how it all gets done, right?
It just does.
Crazy, yeah.
So
tell us about your occupation, what you did in the past. Obviously, you were a police officer. We thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And tell us how maybe those lessons in NYPD helped you in your business. As most people say, well, I have a job, I work for the city, I can't open a business. I'm not an entrepreneur.
Right.
And tell us what you do for your community. How do you give back?
Sure. So yeah, I joined the NYPD. Prior to that, I was in the mortgage business for a couple of years, and then I had 2 roads. I had a mortgage company that was calling me, and the NYPD called me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take the safe route because, I wanted to get some security. So I went the NYPD route. It was very tough. It was not easy. It was not very well paid. Still is not well paid.
And you said safe. It's not that safe.
It's not that safe, but it seemed like a safer bet of getting paid because I grew up, poor and I needed consistent income. So that's why I went that route. However, in 2000, as you know, there was kind of a boom, that happened after that. So the mortgage business was taking off. I'm seeing people that I was working with just explode. People went from driving Hondas to Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and here I am making 30, 40,000 a year at NYPD. Not a safe job, but reliable income. So I did that, and it was tough. I was there 9/11. I was a first responder there. And
that
it
had
was
to be tough.
It was hard. It was the roughest day of my life, honestly. And the months that past that, it was very tough. But
Yeah, I remember 9/11. Was in my previous business in the gas station, and I just remember leaving for work and watching this on TV. Was like, I can't even imagine being there.
it was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was there from day one. Saw the towers come down right in front of me. So it was a life-changing experience. It was something that shook me, shook a lot of people. But to see everything and then be there months after, and it was a tough time. But I really feel that every negative has a positive, and I saw the positives happen after that. Everyone came together. People were cheering for us for once. A lot of people don't like the police, but at that time they were happy to see us. They were clapping for us every day. It was rewarding to see that. And nowadays, again, it's tough to be a cop. But it was a great job. It was the job, though. And to me, job stands for just over broke. And that's unfortunately what it is. So, I lived just over broke like a lot of people do. And it is what it is. I made a change in my life about 8 years ago to look into something else, to start a business, whether it get back into mortgages and just so happened where we lived, where in Yorktown, one of my neighbors was a home inspector and he was teaching at the school. He's like, oh, maybe you should come and take the class. So I took the class and really wasn't thinking much of it.
You didn't think of it as a business, just something on a little extra money to help you with the bills.
I wasn't sure how it was going to work.
Like a real business. People say, oh, it's not a real business.
Right. So it just kind of, it was just something I was hoping that was going to give me an end game to the job. And because, once you get to a certain point, you're like, all right, you have to do 20 years. Now it's longer, but 20 years you have to give them, and then you can retire and do something else. So I'm like, do I move? Do I stay in New York? What do I do? So New York is very expensive to be here. So you have to do something.
Might be the most expensive city in the United States.
It is really tough. I mean, it's really tough. I took my children, my family back to Queens where I grew up. I grew up in a garden apartment over in Alley Pond. And so I took my family over there and showed them where I lived when I was a kid. Literally, we went into the apartment next door. They were having an open house. And the apartments have gotten so expensive. You could buy a house for what they're getting for a 2-bedroom apartment. It's insane. So it's a very expensive place to live, whether it's in the boroughs or you move up north or out east. It's a very expensive place to be. So I needed an end game. Started the home inspection company, got a second phone, and I was like, why won't this phone ring? And it wouldn't ring, and I made a really good contact. I just, put my contacts out there and tried to reach out to people. And so I reached out to some people that I knew were in the real estate business. I said, hey, I'm a home inspector now. I had some friends that, hired me to inspect their houses. Not that I knew.
What year was this about?
It was like 2015. Yeah.
So the internet was kind of just starting. We didn't have social media like we do now.
We did, but not like we do now.
Like
so Instagram was not what it is today. It was Facebook. It's all Facebook. So I would put up posts that I'm doing this and trying to get business. And again, just reaching out to people. Next thing you know, I reached out to the right person and the phone started ringing. And then after the phone started ringing, I started meeting other realtors from those relationships, just gaining momentum. And now we're a multi-inspector company. I just put on another retired NYPD, actually a lieutenant, so he's on board. And I have 2 other guys on the team. One of them speaks Spanish. We just put a new admin on, and the team is growing. Business is booming.
Great.
And it's just unbelievable to even be sitting with you. Is just mind-blowing, because 10 years ago, all I wanted to do was ride my mountain bike. That's all I wanted to do, was just go to work and then ride my bike. And now
But what changed? What was the spark that made you say, I want more? There had to be some defining moment where you went from riding your mountain bike on weekends to crawling around attics and basements and, helping the community, helping people. Was it a need? Was it, obviously, there had to be something.
I think it was just, it kind of snowballed, and it just like, the money started coming in, and it was faster than I've ever seen money come in. So I was like, what do I do here? Like, how do I, what do I do to get more of this? Like, when I first started, I was getting a few jobs a week, and I'm like, wait, if I can do this, I could definitely retire after 20 years and just do, 2 inspections a week, and I was going to be happy with that. And then it
Now
just
you're
kinda,
doing 2 a day.
I don't even like 2 a day, but yeah, I mean, we're busy. I have to, I have other people I have to take care of, and they rely on us, and but it just clicked. And it's funny how, like, sometimes bad things that happen put you in the right position. So I would go to work, I worked midnights, and my business phone kept ringing. So as the phone would ring, my coworkers would look at me and they go, Josh, you're on job time now. You can't answer the phone. So I said to my wife, who really didn't know anything about what I was doing, I said, look, you got to answer this phone. I can't do it. I'm going to get in trouble. So she started answering the phone. People love her. So she knows how to manage. So it really changed both of us. It really changed my whole family dynamic. It changed our roles. And it's been a great journey, and Lisa's been, there by my side the whole time. And it's just teamwork.
That's a great, you guys do a great service. I refer clients to you all the time. Public opinion is important. I read your reviews. Anyone I want to do business with, I always go online and review. Obviously, I get a good judge from your personal character by meeting you. We met at a networking event, which I see you're always there. You're always helping realtors, whether it's donating money or time or your service. So we appreciate that. I see you do a lot of sponsorships. You're doing, sports teams, donations for charity. You get involved in charity. So all the things that we do as realtors, obviously, you're piggybacking off of that, but that's your own, you're doing for yourself.
Correct.
I always like to see people helping the public, like especially the average home buyer has no idea what a home inspection is. So, obviously someone calls you up, Josh, I'm buying this house. What do I need? And you just say, just show up with the checkbook.
Right.
And take us through, like, what an average home inspection, obviously, how long should it take? Because people are under the assumption, especially realtors, it should take 20 minutes. An average size home around here is probably 2,000 square feet. And it has, obviously a boiler, central air, different heating systems. So do you have to be knowledgeable in all this stuff? Do you really got to be an expert?
I mean, you do, and it's also, again, like you said, helping others. That goes with it, right? So we help other people, and not only the public, but we help refer out people that we like as well. Like you refer us, we refer contractors that we like, and HVAC people, and so on. So those relationships, maybe there's something we haven't seen, right? There's new things that come out all the time. So we have contacts that will make us the expert in that. All right. But yes, you get a good training out of the training that you get to become a home inspector, but that's not enough. Really, you need the field time is what you need. But generally, when we get a call, Lisa answers the phone. She looks at the listing, and she'll say, all right, this house has, municipal sewer. This has, you don't have a well here. If it's north of the Bronx, typically that's where we'll start with the radon testing. So we'll do that, which is a gas that can come up and cause lung cancer. So we'll do a lot of radon testing. But generally, a home inspection, if it's a single family home, you're looking at about 2 hours. All right, for your standard 2,000 square foot
So a realtor
house.
should block out 2 hours.
2 hours, at least.
And the realtor should be there. The
Realtors
buyer's
should be there.
Should be there.
Somebody has to be there. All right?
Representation.
Yes. We do not like to go into a home. If the realtor says, hey, I can't make it or I'm running late, here's the code, I don't even like doing that, because then if something's missing, something's broken, nobody's there to see what's going on. So it's really important that
Because I
that
see that's a
someone's
big problem in our industry. I mean, I try to be at all my inspections or have one of my agents accompany, at least open the door, be there, and you know, if a problem at least arises, you tell the agent,
Yes.
look, this could be a problem. I'll put it in the report, but you're giving them a heads up. Now
Yes.
the agent at least has some sort of a head start to alert the homeowner and say, you know, the inspector found this. It's not a big issue, but I'm just giving you a heads up. I feel like that's very valuable in a deal because that could kill a deal.
I mean, I think that, you know, the agents should go through the house after we're done, because we're all human. So it's always good to have a second check, make sure that the oven's off, make sure that nothing's leaking, they didn't leave a faucet on, things like that. So it's really important that there's another set of eyes there. But
As far as like turning things on, do you really go into, like, you know, putting everything on in the house? I mean, I know you got to check the heat, but I always hear these inspectors, they say, oh, I got to put on everything in the house. And I don't really like that because I don't want to take responsibility for, you know, a $100,000 surround sound system. Like, and it's not really part of the house,
No.
but do you put on all those
I mean, there's a standard of practice that we abide by. We do go above and beyond at times. I mean, you know, the standards are not really high. So we go above it because we feel that there are things you should be testing. But if like a valve is off, we're not supposed to turn it on, even though that might be a key valve to the house that really we're not turning it on. So as a realtor, we'd say to you, hey, Joe, can you get permission that we could turn this on, or can you turn this on? Because we don't want to take on that liability. When it comes to surround sound, we're not testing that. Sometimes we'll run into this issue where, you know, right now it's winter time. Are we going to test the AC? No, it's too cold. Some people are, and there is some times that, you know, the temperatures are borderline. Do you test the heating? Do you test the cooling? We'll ask them, because if it's a shared system, you really shouldn't be testing them at the same time. All right, so we will, like if we have to go back for a radon test, we'll be able to test it when we go back for that, if we are going there to retrieve the radon kit. So
just quickly, not everyone knows what radon is. Explain to the audience radon real quickly. Is that something that you have to do, or is that just recommended?
Good question. So radon is a naturally occurring gas that seeps up through the foundation of the house. Again, typically it's north of the Bronx. Westchester, Putnam, Orange, those areas. We do get recommendations at times to do it in the Bronx.
It's usually contained in a rocky
Correct.
area where there's bedrock or
Right.
things like that.
So that's why in Riverdale, in the Bronx, we'll do it there sometimes. But basically, it's a naturally occurring gas. We have these discs that we leave there, and they basically absorb the air. And then we seal it up, bring it to a lab, and they test it to make sure that the levels are normal and safe for you. If not, you get a radon mitigation system, which is only like $1,500 to $2,000. It's not a game changer, but again, we're doing this inspection for your safety, for your health, so why not know what's in your environment?
Sure.
Right? So that's essentially what radon is.
Tell us about what do you like to do in recreation? You're not always working. You mentioned mountain biking, but I'm sure you do some fun things.
Not really. No. I mean, honestly, I could tell you it's funny because, you know, once I started doing home inspections, like I love it. Like I really have a passion for it. And when I used to work a different job, it was like Mondays, like, oh, it's Monday again. I don't feel that way. I look forward to Mondays, but when I don't have jobs, when I have free time, when we have more daylight, I'm riding my bike. I'm a mountain biker. That's what I did for years. I've been doing that over 20 years now.
You got to keep yourself in shape.
Yes, I'm pretty competitive with it. So any mountain bikers out there, there's a Strava app. You go on the app, you put in where you're at, you just start it, and it tracks you. So,
It's awesome.
so I
see the prices of some of these mountain bikes. It's insane.
They're insane, and they're getting even worse because now they're adding motors. Yeah. So they're e-bikes now, which maybe I'll buy one, but I don't know. We'll see. So I don't know. I'm not ruling it out, but I do like to earn the hills.
And going up, it will help, right?
It will help, yeah. But I like to earn it, you know. I like to go up and just ride, so it keeps me fit, you know. Like whenever I go for a checkup,
clears your head.
Yeah,
gets all the stress out
for sure. But whenever I go and get a checkup, they test my pulse, and they look at me. They're like, "Are you an athlete?" And I'm like, "I'm a mountain biker." They're like, "That's why." Because my pulse is so low and I'm resting. But it doesn't show here, but it is pretty surprising how fast I can get on a bike.
Got to work on the core.
Yeah, I got to work on the core. But I'm a gym rat too. So I used to work out like crazy, and then I discovered mountain biking, and it's kind of like one defeats the other, right? If you're mountain biking, you're burning all the muscle kind of like, so, but during winter, like I'm mostly lifting weights and then trying to slim down, keep slim. And then, but
bulk up in the winter, and then
and then ride
cut up in the summer.
Right. So, so that's where you'll find me. And we recently put a pool in our house, so that is where you'll find me on Sundays.
Great.
At my pool.
Awesome.
So,
and as far as sports teams, being from Queens, are you a Mets fan? Are you a Jets fan? Obviously, we're Bronx guys. We're Yankee fans. We Rangers, not the Islanders. Although there are some Islander fans that are friends of mine, but most of us are Rangers and Yankees and Giants, and then we always have a rivalry with Queens because those are always the Mets and the Jets.
Subway Series, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm not the biggest like sports fan. I love UFC, so that's like Saturday nights. My kids know I'm watching UFC,
which is a great sport.
Yeah, so I love UFC, but I'm a New York fan. Like if there's a New York team winning, I'm all for it. I grew up, my grandmother loved the Mets, and that's all she wanted to watch was the Mets. I like the Yankees. Like I would definitely root for them. And, I would definitely go Giants, and I would go Rangers. Okay. But I am a New York fan. I don't really watch too much sports, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
it's good to hear that you got all the right teams.
Yeah, 100%, It's funny to see, like, people up north when they're wearing, like, Mets hats. I'm like, where are you from, Queens or something?
Right?
But because I'm from there.
Up here?
But, it's kind of funny. I remember going to a Subway Series, and I had my Yankee hat on, and it was in Queens. And they were like, anybody wants to trade their hat in, come in, we'll give you a free hat. I was like, no, it's good.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I mean, just tell us a little bit about your goals, your dreams, obviously. Where do you see Stone Home Inspections in 5 years? Where do you see Josh in 5 years? Are you still doing this? Are you still crawling around attics? Are you, physically fit and keeping yourself in shape? Obviously, people don't realize how much that takes a toll on your body. I see, a lot of older home inspectors, and it's tough. The back, your knees, your, eyesight. So that's all got to weigh into your business plan here.
Yeah, well, I'm not that old yet, Joe. So, but my 5-year plan, still working out the kinks, but everything is lining up. Like, I'm so excited for the Stone Home Inspection team right now. Like, we finally put a team together that is just on point. Like, we have it all together, even down to the admin. Like, I feel like it's just all together and meshed. And if we can keep this going, I just see more inspectors wanting to join us and bring more to the table. Really, that's what we want to do. We want to, our slogan is, for your protection, get a Stone Home Inspection. And that's what we want. We want to be that protection for people. We come from a police background where we did protect the public. That's what we want to do. I had a bad experience with a home inspector, and that's why I became one. Right. So the people that work for me, they learn how to do it the way I do it. I review all the reports. So the 5-year plan is to keep building the team, and I could, maybe take a little bit of a step back. I have realtors that only want to work with me, so that's difficult.
That's always tough.
But I keep myself fit. My eyes still work well. Right. And so my 5-year plan, I'll still be doing this. I'll still be going stronger than ever. I want to buy more investment properties. I heard you and John talking last time about it, and I think that's the way to do it, because if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work forever. So real estate is the key. Anyone looking at this video, watching this video, talk to Joe, talk to John, Kelly, talk to Joey the lawyer, and these people that can put you in the right place to buy real estate. Because if you're starting out, I highly suggest take their advice, get a multifamily, live in it for a while. It might not be the most comfortable way to go, but do it, then move on, maybe buy another one or buy your single family. But create some generational wealth, create some money that you can make while you sleep. So that's what I want to do, is just build a portfolio of investment properties.
Great goals, great advice. It's a pleasure having you on. Thanks,
Thank
Josh.
you. My
Good luck
pleasure.
with everything in the future.
You as well.
Joe Cosentino from Morris Park Realty and Westchester Realty Consultants. And thanks, Josh Stone from Stone Home Inspections. And we'll see you next time.